I get everybody to quiet down, please? We're going to bless the meal, and then I'm going to start releasing tables. This is Riley's grandpa. He's going to bless the meal for us.
Well, I'm not going to bless the meal. God is. Thank you for all coming to my grandson's get-together here, a celebration of life. I know he'd appreciate you all for being here. So we'll bow our heads, take our hats off. Heavenly Father, our great God and eternal King, and the Lord Jesus Christ, Savior, we come before you thanking you for this opportunity to be part of Riley's life and now the celebration of his life. We thank you for the life that he gave us and touched us all deeply. We pray, Father, for those that mourn and are grieved, Father, in our spirits. Let that river of peace that flows from your throne enlighten every one of us and fall upon us tonight. Bless this celebration of life, and we love you. We thank you in the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ, and please also bless this food we are partaking of, and we love you. In Jesus Christ's name I pray, amen.
So Riley and Vi's family can go up and get food. Her name's Vi, right?
Who?
Her name's Violet, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, if I can get everybody's attention.
We're gonna have to quiet people down.
How do we turn this on? Is it better there?
Yep, that's good. You're good.
All right.
You're gonna have to quiet people down.
If everybody can quiet down, please. I would like to start by telling everybody how thankful we are and how grateful my family is for each and every one of you. The support we have gotten is nothing short of amazing. And I think I've said it more times than I can count. It's just a testament to how amazing Riley really was. He showed everybody through the way he lived. You know, was a kid that was truly a man at 19 years old. I think anybody that knew him learned something from him, which is very crazy to say for a kid. But we are definitely grateful for everybody. I know I can't thank each and every person by name because I don't know them all. And I can't even keep track of everything that you've done. My plan was to come up here and word vomit. I'm not very good with writing things out, but she is. She's good with all that. You know, we're young parents, and we grew up with him. You know, it was a very amazing blessing that we got. Like, this little boy taught us how to be adults, in a sense. You know, with all the mistakes we made, we learned and we grew, and he was right there with us for all of them. He was so much more than my son. He was truly my best friend. I had many talks with him throughout the day. Every lunch he would call me and tell me how his day was going. Talk to me about whether you should go hunting at night or not. And my answer was, you can't shoot a deer if you're not in the woods. So yeah, stop on your way home and get in the tree stand. He had a passion like nobody I've ever met for the outdoors. But he had some very good teachers. His cousin Tyler was an amazing one, and Jacob, and my brothers, and myself. He took every opportunity he could to skip school and go into the woods or by the water. And that was a good one, you know. I never had to worry that he was going to skip school for something stupid.
Good grades though.
Huh?
Still had good grades though.
Yes, he did. Except for that COVID year. That was messed up, okay? I think everybody can say yeah. But he did. The outdoors, anything that was related to God, he dove headfirst into. You know, I've known many people throughout my lifetime, and I have strong faith, and I've always preached to him about God and staying on the path with Christ. But at 19 years old, you know, a lot of parents, unfortunately, I know my parents definitely worried, right? I wasn't out doing the smartest things. Like, my biggest worry with this young man when he took Violet to a bonfire was, please pay attention to the people leaving at 2 o'clock in the morning from the bar. You know, it wasn't, hey, if you're going to get drunk, you need to call me, because I knew that wasn't even a thought in his head. He chose that path, I think, far before, 19 years of age. And he never looked at a crossroad. It's like the decision wasn't even a decision. He just did it. So I think that is really what touched each and every one of us, was the fact that he could set the example for us at such a young age. Again, I'm just truly grateful for everybody. I can't express how thankful we are. And I am going to let Brittany talk, because hers is very well put together.
It's not.
But I love you all, and I thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to do my best to get through it. I wrote his eulogy.
You want me to read it?
Nope, I got it. Today we gather with hearts that feel heavier than words can hold. We come together to honor Riley, a young man whose life, though far too short, was lived with purpose, passion, and a goodness that touched every soul fortunate enough to know him. At just 19 years old, our beloved son accomplished something many people spend a lifetime trying to achieve. He loved deeply, he lived fully, and he left a mark that will never fade. From the moment he entered this world, he brought with him a spirit that was gentle yet strong, humble yet courageous, joyful yet grounded in unwavering faith. His relationship with God shaped him into the young man we admired so much, respectful, responsible, and full of gratitude for the blessings in his life. One of those blessings was Violet, his perfect match. The love Riley and Violet shared was rare, the kind that makes people believe in soulmates and God's timing. The way he looked at her, spoke about her, and dreamed of a future with her told us everything we needed to know. He had found his person. And in their time together, they built something real, something beautiful, something that will endure every memory and every heart that witnessed it. Riley lived his life outdoors where he felt closest to God's creation, hunting, fishing, exploring, breathing in the quiet peace of nature. Whether he was sitting in a deer stand at dawn or casting a line at sunset, that was his sanctuary, his joy, his way of connecting with the world. Out there, he wasn't just doing what he loved, he was becoming who he was meant to be, patient, thoughtful, steady, and strong. But perhaps one of the most remarkable parts of his legacy lies in the lives of the young wrestlers he coached and mentored. He had a gift for reaching kids, teaching them not just how to wrestle, but how to work hard, believe in themselves, and treat others with respect. He was a leader not by force, but by example. He made each young athlete feel seen, valued, and capable. To so many, he wasn't just a coach, he was a hero. As a son, Riley was nothing short of extraordinary. He brought pride to our family every single day. He was thoughtful, caring, and dependable, always the one that you could count on. And then as the big brother to Caden and Grayson, he was their protector, their guide, their role model, and their hero. He loved them fiercely. He celebrated their successes, encouraged their dreams, and quietly made sure they always felt supported. His presence in their lives has shaped them, who they are, and his love will continue shaping who they become. And even as we remember all the goodness he brought into this world, I'm not going to stand here today and pretend to understand why he was taken from us. I won't speak about the questions that we will never have answers, or the pieces of my heart that feel too broken to describe. I won't talk about the moments we will never get to see him live, or the dreams he won't have the chance to fulfill. Because those thoughts are too vast, too painful, too impossible to hold in this moment. Instead, I choose to honor what Ryleys did give us, the love he shared, the joy he brought, the example he set, and the extraordinary young man he became in the time he was given. Sorry. Though his time here ended far too soon, the impact of his life will continue through the lessons he taught, the love he gave, the examples he set, and the memories we hold close. We grieve because his life meant so much. We ache because he was cherished so deeply. And even through our heartbreak, we find comfort in knowing that his faith, strong, steady, unwavering, has carried him home. Today, we honor not just the life Rye lived, but the love he leaves behind. He was a son, a brother, a partner, a coach, a friend, a young man of character and heart. He was a light in this world, and that light will never dim. May we carry him with us in every sunrise on the water, every quiet walk through the woods, every moment of laughter shared, every step taken with faith. His story does not end here because he lives on in us.
So now I am going to offer anybody that would like to say a few words to come up and speak. We would strongly encourage it. I know out here there was some cards or something. If you wanted something said and you weren't able to get up here in front of everybody and say it, that myself or one of the fellow coaches would do it for you, so that way everybody has the opportunity to hear whatever it is, your memory, your story. So the mic is open to anybody now.
Yeah?
Yeah, you most definitely can.
If you don't know me, my name is Craig Monahan. I've been in this building since 1984. And what I love about Swan Valley is what I'm seeing right in front of me. It's an amazing community. And I can't stress enough, what you're doing for everybody here today, for the families and for each other, is beyond measure. See, grief is a very personal thing, and it's a private thing. But to support each other, that's community. And this is what we have here in Swan Valley. For all the tragedies that we've had, this community rallies around everybody, and they do their best to comfort. And that's what we're here for today. And for everybody I've talked to today, you're doing a phenomenal job. It can be a word, it can be a touch, it can be a hug. And the one thing that I've learned, this is the third time I've spoke in this building about a student. And I found, I'm a history guy. And I study a lot of different cultures. And in the native cultures here, they believe when you love someone, I mean, you really love someone, you exchange a little bit of souls. And therefore, if you really love, you always have that person with you. And I don't know what percentage or whatever it is, but the amount of love that you get from the people in this community is extraordinary. And all of us are going to take a little bit of Riley with us, because I'm going to live like Riley, and I think everybody else here will too. And I know when I was very, very ill and I almost died in that classroom over there, what got me through it was the kids in this building. The love that they gave me strength. And I can feel that tonight right in here. So let's all live like Riley, eh?
I'm Justin Brandel. I'm more like Brittany than Mike, and I had to write it down, so bear with me. I'm going to have to read this to get through it. I had the privilege of coaching Riley from the time he stepped into our room as a soft-spoken freshman during one of the hardest seasons of our program has ever had, the COVID year. It was a weird, heavy, stressful time for everyone, but even then, even as a ninth grader, Riley showed up with his steady presence and just made things better. He wasn't loud, he wasn't flashy, but he was a great kid. That year, he had split time in the starting lineup, a situation that tests a lot of athletes. But not once did he complain, not once did he ask, why not me? Not once did he say it's not fair. Every time I checked in with him, he'd just say, it's fine, coach, I understand. And he meant it. That was who he was. He didn't need attention. He didn't need things to be centered on him, but always showed up and did the work. Something I truly appreciated about Riley and admired was how involved he was with our youth wrestling program. Always helping his dad. He would wrestle our tournaments on Saturday and then spend Sunday in the gym with our youth team. Always caring about the little guys, and seeing the way they gravitated to him and idolized him was something extremely special. That's why he won the first two awards that we named after Rob Uberoff, our Ubi Awards. It's a season award in recognition for commitment, dedication, and passion for the sport and for and our youth. There was no one who deserved that more. His smile and his laugh, those things stood out in a crowd. My sister, after talking to her, one of the things she said to me was, she'll always remember the way Riley smiled and the way he played with his brothers on the mat. She said you could just feel the love between them, and she was right. The bond between those boys and between Riley and his parents is something I admire deeply, and is something rarer than it should be. I also want to acknowledge something that sometimes gets overlooked in someone so young, the maturity and devotion he showed in his relationship with Violet. He cared deeply and he loved well. That says a lot about the kind of man he was becoming. When I think about Riley, two moments hit me the hardest, and both of them are hugs. One came when he first qualified for states. That was a hug of pure joy. All the work, all the sacrifice, all the little moments that led up to that one. The other hug was at the end of his career when he finished his last match. That one was agony. Closure on an important chapter of his wrestling career and his young life that didn't end how he wanted. In both of those moments, I was so proud of him. I hope he knew that, and I hope he felt that. And now we're standing in this moment that none of us ever wanted to face. When it comes to grief, especially grief like this, people say time heals. But the truth is, the pain doesn't really go away. It doesn't shrink. We just grow around it. We learn to carry it. We learn to live a new life, changed in some way. And honestly, there can be something meaningful in that. The pain means the love was real. The pain means the memories matter. And the pain becomes a reminder to live life fully, because that's exactly what Riley did. Everything wonderful he was doing and everything he would have done now gets carried forward through all of us. His family, his teammates, his hunting buddies, his friends, and this whole community. So on the days when grief hits you in the chest, When it comes in waves, go back to the things that you loved most about him. Think of his smile, think of his laugh, think of the matches, the hunts, the long practices, the moments that made him who he was. And then use those memories as fuel to love the people around you a little deeper, to show up a little stronger, to live with the same quiet kindness and steady heart that he had. Our motto, this whole community has taken to, is live like Riley. And I mean this sincerely. If we do that even a little bit, this world becomes a better place. Thank you.
I'm sure. Hi, I'm Elena Berger. I've been doing this sport for 5 years, and within those 5 years, Riley was probably one of the most important people in that time. I'm going to be nowhere near poetic as the rest of these people. But Riley, the thing about him was I don't think I ever saw him without a smile on his face. And he always had like this smug, mischievous look, and he was always just happy. But every time I would wrestle on Sundays, he would just go and he would be there, and I would be in a corner, I would be jumping around, I would be getting warmed up, and he would be there with me, and I would annoy him so bad because I would do the Macarena just to annoy him because I knew he hated it. I'd be jumping around doing the Macarena, and it was horrible. And I saw him do that with the other wrestlers too, and I was like, this is one of the most important people. I was like really good friends, or like not really good friends, but like I would annoy him all the time about like what I was in 3rd grade and I had a crush on this guy in the wrestling room. Not gonna shout names, but Riley figured it out pretty fast, and then he would always tease me about it. And that was the same year him and Violet started dating. So, back and forth. And even 3 years later, I would still see him in the hallway, and he would still be like, how's your crush doing? Lost that crush. And then I would go, yeah, how are you and Violet doing? Because I didn't know they were still dating. Because they were having trouble when I last saw them. They were sophomores, you can't, okay. But, live like Riley. Just wanna.
Can everybody hear me? Yep. I'm one of those type of people who likes to write this down, so humor me. If you guys don't know who I am Everett Wenzel, and I had the pleasure of meeting Riley through Violet. The memories I have with him are when we went bowling, swam at my Aunt Christie's, and got ice cream. We were hanging out by the fire making s'mores. Nothing fancy, but it was always fun because Riley was there. Riley was super nice. He was a lot of cool things. He loved Jesus. He liked being outside, hunting, fishing, and all that stuff. He was a really, really good wrestler. As you can see, he won a lot of medals as the display over there. He was really smart and cared about a lot of people. He treated people with kindness and the love that Jesus did. Riley's favorite Bible verse, which is also mine, was I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. He didn't just say it. I feel like he lived it every single day. Riley showed us what really matters: being nice, having faith, and caring about people. We won't miss him, but we need to try our best to live like Riley every day so that maybe the world would become a nicer place because of him. Thank you.
Okay. I'm Hunter Van Brunt. I had the pleasure of being Riley's cousin for a great 19 years, getting to grow up with him. So, I used to have him over a lot when every weekend I'd either go to Mike and Brittany's or he would come over to my place, and we would just have just the time that I would like to have with him. And all the times we loved our wrestling, and we were always told not to wrestle in the house. And every time my parents would leave, they'd go down the street to go to the store, we would do it anyways. Or if we were at Mike and Brittany's, we would do the same thing, and they would be telling us the same thing: stop wrestling in the house before one of you guys get hurt. And we still kept doing it. And all the times we got to watch wrestling together and just have the time to just bond together and just grow up. He showed me how to really have fun, and I'm going to miss him. And the last time I got to see him, it was a great time. We all went mini golfing, and it felt like that reconnection that I've always wanted with him. I love that kid so much. And I know he's looking down on all of us right now, and he's proud of everybody showing up today. And from this day forward, we're all going to live like Riley, and I'm going to hold every memory I got with him in my heart. So, I love you, Riley.
Hi, I'm Luke Wenzel. I got the privilege of knowing Riley through Violet, and I didn't know him for very long, but in the short amount of time that I got to spend with him, he taught me a lot through just simple experiences like driving in the back of your car, taking me to home at the end of every day my freshman year, to going bowling, swimming, just hanging out. He taught me what real, genuine compassion and unconditional love looked like. He showed me what it's like to care about people. You could tell that he truly cared about everybody, and that no matter what, he would always look out for you. He was always there for you. And I think I was very privileged to have met him. I think that in the time that I got to spend with him, I want to live out what Riley lived out. I want to become what Riley was. I want to love like Riley loved. I want to be the person that Riley was. I want to be there for people just like Riley was. I want to be that person for everybody, and I think everybody here in this room does too. I think we owe it to each other to live like Riley did, because the end of the day, he lived out life like we all should. And I think it's a life worth living. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alex Schramm. I'm one of the seniors here at Swan Valley, and I just want to say it was a privilege to be able to meet Riley when I did. I started youth wrestling with him down in Mike's basement. Those stupid spin drills, hate them. But throughout those years, it molded me to the wrestler I am now. It definitely helped me, because I have made it to states, and I don't think I would be where I am without Mike, without Brandel, without really any of the coaches, and Riley especially. He was a very good role model until it came with helping mats, but that's all right. It was a good feeling to be able to meet him and be around him for that long. It sucks tremendously that I can't be around him anymore, which is awful on all of us, I would say. But that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alexis, his cousin. I just want to say how it's been a long time since I've known him. I skipped a few years of his life. But looking on Facebook and checking in was the best time of my life. Seeing how much he's changed and how he's a big part of everyone's life was really nice to see. Hearing what everyone has to say, hearing that he was the best kid that anyone could have was nice. Live like Riley.
All right, so I have an odd request, but once everybody hears it, it will not be odd. Has anybody seen Grayson?
Okay.
Right on. Thank you.
But yeah, it's not odd.
That absolutely checks out. Hello, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Drew Hart. I'm one of the assistant coaches here at Swan Valley. I've had the opportunity to know Riley now for 7 years. Obviously, the family came over and got involved with our program here, which has been an absolute blessing. I think that's well evidenced by the turnout tonight. Before I start into what I wrote here, I would like to take a second and acknowledge the fact that we've had some young people stand up here and say some things in what is probably the biggest fear that most adults have, right? Speaking in front of other people. And I don't know if there is anything better that shows the impact that Riley had on not just adults, but young people. I would like to thank all of them for saying everything that they did. It's amazing. We've heard a lot of people stand up here and say how big of a pleasure it was to, have the opportunity to know Riley or Coach Riley or I'm going to challenge that a little bit because, I mean, let's face it, like there were times where he was a headache, right? A lot of people saying he was a hard worker, and there was never a time that he was a harder worker than trying to avoid warm-ups at the beginning of practice. Everybody that's on that team knows exactly what I'm talking about. The Thursday after Riley passed away, my wife told me that I had to get out of the house and I had to go hunting. It wasn't a choice. She said that's, you know, the place that you feel best thinking about things. And to her, I say thank you. She's absolutely right. I think probably many of us in this room feel the same way. I wrote what I'm about to read over the 2 hunts that I sat following Riley's passing. As I sit in the solitude of my tree stand, my mind wanders, seemingly endlessly, but also to nothingness. Attempting the chase of God's creatures so as to feel the connection between Him, the earth, and my soul once again. The stillness is shattered by the sharp pain of a life taken far too soon. Although He resides now in a place of grandeur and serenity, my heart yearns for the relief of those left behind, selfishly, myself included. I've swam in deep waters, I've conquered tall mountains, and I've navigated more darkness than I care to share. But nothing near the enormity of this, a horizon-shifting impact, nothing like those I've endured before. The wind begins to blow as my body trembles in sorrow, drying the tears as they cascade from my eyes, and stealing the breath before I can cry in angst, nearly comforting, almost intentionally. A new day, not yet dawn. Stars speckle the early morning sky, reminding me of the heavens above. An ember burns, catching my eyes as it streaks across the sky, dull at first and growing bright before abruptly disappearing. A perfect metaphor, if you will, for a life deserving of so much more than a brief existence. The old adage claims the strongest steels are forged in the hottest fires. I believe that this loss can do nothing but that. A family, fractured, surrounded with the burning love of a community on fire, hammered into something different, a phoenix of sorts. The scar and steel, forever visible, but now allowing the strength to build again. Thank you.
If y'all didn't know, that he wrote Ryleys obit because Mike and I could not get it together, and he brought that to our house, asked us to read it, and then we were like, instantly Mike and I looked at each other and without even words between us looked at Drew and said, will you write Ryleys obit? So, yes.
Hi, everybody. For any of you that don't know me, I am Jenny Beeler, Violet's mom. After Riley passed, I did probably what a lot of us do, and I looked through old photos, and I looked through all of our text messages. And everyone that he ever sent to me always started out, "Hi, Mrs. Beeler," because even though he was part of our family for 3 years, he thought it was too disrespectful to ever use our first names. I noticed in looking through those messages, I asked him for a lot of favors. Could he let the dog out? Could he come help us with a project? Could he take something down to Violet? And he always was more than happy to oblige. And I noticed there were a few times that he asked me for a favor. He would ask me to give him a ride to Violet's game, or let him know what the score was if he couldn't make it, so if he knew if he needed to comfort her. He would ask me if I could have the servers sing happy birthday to her when we went out to eat for her birthday meal. And in the very last text exchange that he and I had, he asked if I could please do him a favor and let Henry know that when my husband and I were out of town, he was there if Henry needed food or anything else at all. And that's just how he was. He cared so much more about what he could do for everybody else than he ever did for himself. I never once witnessed him having an ill intent or even a selfish one. And that's a testament to Mike and Brittany's parenting. But I always felt it was something he just truly had in him. He had a soul so righteous, it almost seemed too good to be true. But we know it was because he touched every single one of us in this room in some way at some moment in time over the course of the last 19 years. And I know that in those 19 years, he made more of an impact with his kindness and his generosity and the purity of his heart than many of us do in a lifetime. Far, far greater. Thank you.
Before I read these, I have to touch on something. I'm looking around the room, and I see multiple different communities here. And the only time I've seen these communities in the same room is when we're looking to kick the crap out of each other on the mat. You know, and that's great. It shows what these young kids and we have said about unconditional love, that it is true. So again, thank you everybody. But what I'm going to do now is read the ones that the people did want shared. So there's a bunch in there, but some of them they didn't want shared. So I'm guessing those are just for us. And this first one is from Madeline and Bronson. This is Violet's roommate down in MSU. She remembers the late nights after MSU football games when the four of them were up way too late playing ridiculous games and laughing way too loud. Also running away from the boys throwing corn from the corn maze. So I'm guessing there's something left out here, okay? Because they went from playing games to be in a corn maze. So I would like to know the rest of that story, Madeline, okay?
Later.
The next one is from Brooke. This is his cousin. And amazing young woman. She says her only time fishing ever was with Riley. She was way too grossed out to put the bait on the hook. And Riley goes, "Brooke, it's not gross," and did it for her. That's just who he was. He was so sweet and kind, always willing to help anyone. This one is from the Borbinas. I remember Riley being at the middle school wrestling meets, helping his dad coach, and coaching his brother and all the middle school kids. This one is from one of our many fourth children. This is from Nolan. He says he remembers the trip to Wisconsin was fun when he made me go on the fastest ride there. Nolan was very scared. I remember that too. And I think there was a little encouragement through maybe some calling him a chicken, you know, but Nolan still did it. And that's because Riley went on it with him. This is from Julie LaFaro. We took Riley to a WWE event at the Dow Event Center. Says she loves you and the Lotz family. Which just shows you how much he really loves people, because he did not like WWE.
When he was little, he did. When he was little, he did. I know.
So this one, this just says aunt, okay? For the life of me, I have tried to tell my kids it is Aunt Danielle. And Riley, he stuck to it for a hot minute. He did, because that's who he was. But she won him over too, and he just called her Aunt. He says, Riley Michael, you fought so hard with your dad to call me just Aunt. I am so thankful that you did, as that is my favorite title in life besides just being a child of God. So that's funny. I honestly didn't read this before I said that, guys. I promise. So I had no clue. But thank you, everybody. Does anybody else want to say anything, or do you want me to say something?
No.
For you. Other than that, let's go back to having a little fun time.
Saul's coming, I think.
Oh, never mind. We have one. And whoever else.
I'm Riley's Uncle Saul. I'm sitting here witnessing all this. If you ever believe in angels, Riley was an angel. He was an angel.
I'm Brett Van Brunt, and I'm Riley's uncle. Riley was amazing, and he had a heart of gold. And I enjoy spending time with him, and I miss him. Everybody lived like Riley.
What video games?
Video games too. He had a heart of gold, and I miss him, and I wish he was still here.
We'll just go like this.
coming up, Chica?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready. Okay, so I usually don't do this kind of stuff, so bear with me. Riley was a very kind-hearted, bright, and goofy young man that was taken far too soon. One of my favorite memories of him was in the wrestling room. He had his spot in the room. If someone was in his spot, you knew you were getting kicked out. Not only that, but the amount of layers he would wear to practice. Even though we told him that the layers were going to make him crabby, he still wore all those layers. On top of the numerous team dinners we had, you could always see him with a cup of grapes wherever you were at. This is from my mom, Shelly. She wanted me to read this for Riley. Riley's fierce love for wrestling, his competitive spirit was the best to watch. His support for others is outstanding. I was blessed to know him. I loved sitting with his mom when he was out on the mat. With love, Shelly.
Try to get through. I'm with you. I'm with you.
For those, excuse me, for those that don't know me, I'm Mark Schramke. My son Nathan and Riley were really good friends, and my son Colin. Riley and Nathan used to fish like every day after school. They became really good friends, and Robin and I got to know Riley a little bit. And one thing everybody knows how polite Riley was. It was always Mr. Schramke this, Mr. Schramke that. And I finally got mad at him one day because I hate that. And I said, Riley, my name is Mark. And he said, I know. And I said, I know you're a high school wrestler, and I'm just an old farmer, but I said, I still think I could put some WWE moves on you and take you down. So you need to knock it off. And he never called me Mr. Schramke after that, and he always called Robin after that. I do know that Riley used to skip school occasionally and come over turkey hunting because I would see his vehicle parked at one of our woodlots. I would always ask Nathan, you know, does Riley's parents know it's okay? And he'd go, oh yeah, they know it's okay. So I'm sure you knew that. Riley and Nathan were always in a competition about, well, and not just those, but that group of kids was always in a competition to who could get the biggest deer. And one of Nathan's favorite sayings to Riley was, it's just a little guy, let him grow up. And he said that a lot to Riley. Even if Riley got a nice buck, Nathan would say, oh, it's still just a little guy. You should have left him go another year. After Nathan passed away, Riley came to us and said, I'd really like to start duck and goose hunting. So Riley borrowed a gun from somebody, and there's a group of these kids that I hunt with on a regular basis. I spent a lot of Saturday and Sunday mornings in the freezing cold sitting in a cornfield. But it was some of the best times for all of us. Trainer Nate hunts with us a lot, even though he's flew the coop from here, but he still hunts with us a lot. And those memories that we have with him are just amazing. And I know him and Nathan are up in heaven right now, probably chasing turkeys or deer or shooting ducks or casting lines. But I know that they're together. And I know that they are taking care of each other. One thing that I do want to stress is this is a tough time. I've been there. I know where Mike and Brittany are. Robin and I went through this. Don't be afraid to talk about Riley. Don't be afraid to bring his name up when you're talking to them or anybody else. And if anybody's struggling, please don't be ashamed to reach out. There's a ton of people that are here for you, and please reach out. If you can't find somebody to talk to, call me. I'll be more than happy to talk to you. But this is a tough time. Stick together and keep going in the right direction and live like Riley. Thank you.
I have one more that somebody had handed to me. This is a kid I had in middle school wrestling the past couple years. And he said that whenever he didn't have a partner in the room, that Riley would always go wrestle with him. So with that, I'm going to ask if anybody else has anything else they would like to say. If not, I think there's still food over there, there's still drinks over there, and you can all share stories amongst each other. But thank you very much for everybody coming. Are you coming?
So, for those of you who may not know, I'm Violet, and I figured right now is better than ever to come up and talk about Riley. But I had the privilege of being his girlfriend for 3 years now. And in that time, he was not only my girlfriend, or my boyfriend, but he was my best friend. He was my safe place. He was the person who never failed to make me smile. And no matter what kind of day I was having, he never failed to put the smile on my face, no matter how small it may have been. And just being around him made everything better. Riley had one of the kindest hearts I've ever known, and the love we shared was unconditional. And 3 years with him will never feel like enough, as we had our entire future planned down to every last detail. But I'm forever grateful that I got to love him for as long as I did, and I will forever live like Riley and carry his laugh, warmth, kindness, and the way he made me feel everywhere I go. I remember not very long after we started dating, my mom and I were in my kitchen, and she pointed out that I was happier than I had been, and I don't know how long. And without any hesitation, I knew exactly why, and it was because of Rye. Even though he's not physically here, his love surrounds all of us. Riley, thank you for loving me the way you did, and for being the reason my smile came back and stayed. You will always have my heart, and I love you forever, sweet boy.
Just the way we planned it to be.
All right, this one is from Chanel, and it says, "It was an honor to meet Riley, that he taught her how to take a shot, to sprawl, and much more. One day, she saw him at the skating rink, and she kept teasing him on the ice, and they both laughed, and she says she loves Riley like a brother."
that day at the skating rink was the first time Riley's ever gone skating. And I had to hold his hand the entire time because or else he was going to fall. And Chanel was there, kept passing Riley every single time. She would tease him, try to push him, and just make fun of him that he couldn't skate at all.
Thank you, guys.
Good kiddo.
Mm-hmm.
Did very good.
I got to stand.